This kid's balling, Choppy.
Yeah, he is.
He is balling. The presence of mind. I think Bobby tweeted IQ Lamb to not go down. That would have been a field goal attempt right after that. But there's CeeDee. He got physical late in the game on that 3rd and 10. Here it is as he's coming around the corner. Zeke through the block, and then bam! He tried to bury the Colts defender at the 2-yard line. CeeDee Lamb is answering questions. 5 for 71 and a touchdown, averaging 14 a catch last night.
He's answered a lot of the questions. I mean, and they're gonna, they have a decision to make with signing him. They're gonna sign him. That's why they drafted him. Although they drafted him to replace Amari, so who knows what they wind up doing? Maybe they find somebody else to replace him. They don't want to pay the position at all. But all the questions pretty much are getting answered right now about CeeDee and his status as number 1. He is, without question, this team's number 1. But he's really turned into a number 1 across the league. He's not an elite receiver. He's not on the Devontae level or the Tyreek Hill level or something like Jefferson. But he is in that next group of number 1s.
And last night, the TV broadcast pointed out that was a career high in shifts and motions for CeeDee, Bobby. They're trying to move him.
They track that on career highs.
Well, they do with Chris Collinsworth in the booth and his wonderful PFF analytics. He's moving on just about every snap now. He's moving usually a lot of times. He'll go across the formation once and then he comes back around. I know they'll GPS track that. Like Mike McCarthy will have data today of how much did we have him run around before the snap, and then we'll probably hear we had his workload a little too high.
4 catches for 23 yards, but 2 touchdowns. That fade in the corner was beautiful.
It was a good touch throw and a good play by Gallup. Yeah, it's like, this is where it gets skewed, right? 4 for 23 and 2. Like, that's not a good game. It's a good fantasy game. I don't get it. I don't get worked up over, like the 2 touchdowns. Like, I know a lot of people love, oh my God, like that's the greatest. 4 for 23 is not a good game. But it's just not. But then again, it's an opportunity position. If you don't get more opportunities, you're not going to get more touches.
But can't we say, I think we can say even at 4 for 23, we can say that was still a good game because his 2 touchdown catches, the one where he catches it and he navigates traffic and bowls over, that was huge because that was when things were starting to feel a little, little shaky.
Plays. They're big plays.
So then that back shoulder fade. We've had issues this year with guys making contested catches in the receiver group. And Michael didn't seem totally comfortable when he came back from his injury with that kind of stuff. So I think that's a big development. I think those are 2 huge catches that, I think you can give him a ton of credit for. He made the most of his looks yesterday.
Tony Pollard then got a little escort around the corner from a guy who was subbing out a little bit for the 40-year-old. Why is Bobby Belt shaking his head?
I don't know, hooker, escort, like what are you? I feel like you're just doing nothing but puns this morning.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Tyler Smith had to get out of Pollard's way down there towards the goal line as he showed the explosion. The whole crowd was chanting Zeke. They wanted him to get his TD later on. I don't like the Salvation Army thing. Let's just keep that on Thanksgiving.
You don't like the Salvation Army? Jerry,
are you listening? Hates charities.
I
think that's the headline from this segment.
I think so too.
Thought that he was going to do something different, or there was going to be something creative, but no, Zeke decided to jump back in himself. I give a star down. For that.
You want to say something about Habitat for Humanity or are there any other charities?
Children,
Sandlot, Swinging for a Cause, any interest with that?
Children's charities and such. Cool.
877-881-1053, chartrec.com, text line. So everyone getting involved, everybody scoring, and Dak was asked afterwards about all the different weapons. 5th most points scored in the history of the organization with 54. Most complete game offensive of the year, Dakota?
I definitely say the team's hitting a stride, but I can't say it was the most complete. I mean, I just think that was a 4th quarter explosion. I think you can go back to a couple of weeks ago on the road up in Minnesota. That was a complete game from all 3 phases, pass game, run game. But tonight, that defense did that. They gave us short fields right there in the 4th quarter, great field position, and allowed us to put up some points late. But that's also just the trust that we have in what we have going and what we've built, and just laying another brick that, what was a 9-point game in the start of the 4th or something like that, and then look up to the final score like that. That just shows when we stay consistent, continue to believe in each other, that can happen at any point in the game.
Yeah, that was not their most complete game because they should have scored 70. Honestly, if you want to talk about if they were playing at the top of their game and they really went after it for 4 quarters, and kept starters in against that Colts team, that's a game you should win yesterday 70-10.
He was much better against Minnesota. He was much better against Chicago. This was not as an offense too. This was not their best game. I mean, they got some opportunities from the defense to give them some short fields.
And Dak was off early, it felt like.
This was his worst game since he came back.
Worst game since he came back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although, I mean, Green Bay
again, though, we talked that's both of those interceptions that he threw. Those were, issues with communication and things like that. I don't think he made a lot of plays in that Green Bay game.
He did make some plays.
He didn't make plays for them last night. No, I can't remember a single time where it's like the throw to Gallup was nice, but I can't remember last night when that game was close going, damn, that was a great play by Dak.
Well, it was that one series where it was like, you are going to catch the ball on the other side. I'm going to keep. It was just the one series where Gilmore had the pick in the second. Should have had it earlier in the drive. Dak was high to Lamb. It was high a couple different times. I do think Schultz should have caught one a little bit earlier, but it was a tad bit high. But the Dak tweets were coming strong until this thing got way out of hand.
Well, to the fourth quarter.
Including your Dak tweets.
I didn't tweet about Dak at all. I just did a very generic tweet that.
What did it say?
It just said he might not be the guy, but they've already signed him, so he clearly is the guy. It's what?
So wait, did you just acknowledge you were talking about Dak?
No, I acknowledged that he thought I was talking about Dak.
Dak thought you were talking about Dak, or Shan did?
Sean did.
Oh, okay.
I thought you. I thought you were a social assassin now, and now you're.
I thought he was talking about me.
You're pussyfooting.
I'm not.
You're fence sitting.
I'm not ready to say anything yet. I'm just. It's like a college will float a guy's name out there to gauge public perception on whether or not it's a good idea to hire him.
Okay.
Yeah, it could have been what I was doing.
Okay. All right. I mean, do you want us to have a happy offseason or not? That's what I would just say.
Well,
What does that mean?
Pick your take wisely, Chop, if you don't want us to have ugly offseason here. We don't want to have ugly offseason
on this
arguments.
show?
Yeah, we don't want to just yell for 6 months, do we?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't want to yell for 6 months. It'd probably be 7.
That's true. Yeah, because we'd go, I guess you're expecting a one and done from the Cowboys then? You expect them out early January?
So who are the
Take us all
other
the way up to
candidates
camp?
who it could have been that you tweeted about?
Well, it could have been, it could have been Gallup.
Okay.
Could have been Lamb.
Could have been
Okay.
Odell.
Could have been Odell.
I don't know what either of the two receivers would have done last night to make you tweet
It
that.
could have been just in general. Could have been Zeke.
Anthony Brown.
It could have been Anthony Brown.
Okay.
Could have been Diggs. I didn't hear Micah's name much
it could
last
not
night.
be
Could have been
Diggs.
him. I know Diggs was too busy getting worked on that touchdown in the end. It could have been let's see. It could have been McCarthy. Could have been Kellen Moore.
Okay.
Could have been Dan Quinn. Could have been Jerry. I don't think Jerry's the guy. Steven.
877.
Could have been Collinsworth.